Representative, 6th District, Georgia, Republican. Dr. McCormick, thanks for being with us today. Got a lot to talk about. I tell you what I'm going to start with, though. I hate to do this to you. I really don't want to do this, but I have to. So these reports that come out that Marjorie Taylor Greene, one of your colleagues in Georgia, files a complaint that you physically harassed her or something, and which I find hard to believe because if you know Dr. McCormick, right? So he's a 20-year veteran. He's a physician. He was a Marine veteran. He was a medic in the Marines saving lives, sewing limbs back on for people that got blown up. He did it for 20 years. He has bedside manner. He's a doctor. And now you're going to tell me that he's harassing Marjorie Taylor Greene. I guess that week she wasn't getting enough attention. By the way, nobody's buying her book because basically it sucks. Now, here's the thing. Why was she mad? Because her bill didn't go anywhere and McCormick's bill did on one of the issues that they're dealing with. So I've got a little tag out of Marjorie Taylor Greene theme song I want to play, guys. Roll the tape. So she got mad. It wasn't her. Mine. What is that? Can you just clear the air? I mean, you're the last guy that is going to physically harass somebody. You're a freaking doctor. You're a medic in the Marines for 20 years. What was that about?
So I think this is a common theme. When Lauren Boebert introduced impeachment, which was very similar to Marjorie Taylor Greene's, and hers got basically fast-tracked, I'm pretty sure, and I don't know if I can say this, I'm quoting, so this is not me, but she was quoted, and she confirmed that she called Lauren Boebert on the floor a little bitch. This was because she did not like the fact that Lauren had a similar submission to her. I didn't know when I went up to her originally when she had submitted the censorship of Rashida Tlaib, but tried to compare it to January 6th, which was not good in the way you phrase it. And if you're going to get something passed, you have to do it. What good is it as a message if you don't actually get something passed? And I went up to her and actually was going to try to help her fix it. And I didn't realize she had already been in a shouting match with about 4 other people at the time. She was very unreceptive, to say the least. I went ahead and said, well, I guess I'll just do my own, and that's what I did. I went up to her after ours had passed, and passed overwhelmingly. And I basically just placed my hand on her shoulders and said, hey, look, at least we can have an honest discussion. That's all I did. It was very unfortunate. She was angry, obviously. She wants to make a big deal out of this. It's unfortunate because we have enough distractions in Congress that it is without this kind of escalation and this kind of grandstanding. It's silly, though, and I hate that it's happened, but it is what it is.
The Marjorie Taylor Greene clown show continues in Congress. Okay, let's get to the border. 13,000, 15,000 people a day. Biden wants no borders. We don't know who's coming in. Is there any serious effort to stop it? You got the Senate, the Quisling 19 or whoever they are, they're the Republicans, saying, well, maybe we could just cut this to 5,000 a day or 3,000 a day. Doesn't the law say 0? I mean, how long can we go on with this, Dr. McCormick?
So we're actually going down to the border, a bunch of us on a congressional delegation with the speaker. Just yesterday, I think they had around 13,000 people cross the border, which is crazy to think about. We're setting records every single month. It gets more. But Biden, you heard Newsom when he debated DeSantis say, oh, he's increased the border personnel down there tremendously. Yeah, to process people for asylum. That's not supporting the border security at all. We passed H.R. 2. It was one of the first things we passed in Congress. We did H.R. 1 and H.R. 2 addressing energy and the border right off the bat. That's one of the first things we did in Congress. It does a great job of shutting down the border, finishing the wall, plussing up security, and remain in Mexico, which is probably the most important part of this. Quite frankly, Biden wants this invasion. He thinks it's going to lead to people voting, which you can see states already trying to line up and allow illegal immigrants, illegal invaders the ability to vote in federal and state elections. It's insane that we're even considering this. I don't think that people who come here illegally and have children should be citizens. I don't think if you come here illegally, you should be a citizen. I don't think your child who's born here illegally should be a citizen. I know that's a constitutional issue and it needs to be addressed. I doubt we're going to have the votes for that, but that's just my opinion. I think if you break the law, you shouldn't be rewarded for it. I'm going down there with the speaker at the beginning of January with a bunch of other congressmen. We're going to draw more and more attention to this. We try to link H.R. 2 to several other bills in order to get this passed. The latest one is going to be when the president asks for more supplemental aid to Ukraine. We're basically not going to pass anything that the president wants unless it's linked to border security. There's no way, no how. It's the biggest issue of our time. We don't have a secure border. We're not a sovereign nation, and we are being invaded.
Are you willing to stop funding the government and shut it down over this issue, Dr. McCormick?
Well, we've already tried a couple times, and I don't think you're going to have the stomach for Congress. Right? I've watched it a couple times where I voted against the CR twice now, and I've tried to take a stand, but there's just not enough stomach. I mean, even the new speaker, who's known as probably the most conservative speaker we've ever had, quite frankly, he's starting to see the cold, hard realities of politics. Not from a standpoint of compromising who he is. I mean, he's a very religious guy, very humble guy, but the fact that he has to get certain things done and that it doesn't benefit the party or the country if you're not paying your military, for example, around Christmas. Now, it may come to that, but quite frankly, in less than a year, we're going to have an election, and Biden's going to lose if he doesn't secure the border, and I think he knows that. I think he's either going to do something and allow it, or we're going to replace him, and we may replace him anyways. I hope we do. And then it's fixed. And then we begin the process of kicking these people out of here who tried to claim asylum. We can fix this. I just don't think it's going to be with this president. Let's face it, with this Senate. We need to hold the House. We need to get back the Senate and the presidency and do our job. I think freezing the government at this point is going to do nothing but put us in a more precarious position of winning back the Senate and winning the White House when we have business to do, and we can take care of this in a second.
Dr. McCormick, have you made an endorsement in the Republican nomination presidential race?
I did. As a matter of fact, very early, I went with Ron DeSantis. Nothing against Trump. Trump and I had a great relationship. When I went down to Mar-a-Lago, we spent about an hour together. Actually, went over an hour, went over time. We had a very enjoyable conversation. We ended the conversation with him standing up and saying, you know, we're going to be friends for a very long time. That's going to be longer for you than for me. But we're going to have a lifetime of friendship, and I'll hold him to that. I've talked to his political director, who's from Georgia, Brian Jack. No hard feelings. He understands what I'm trying to accomplish here. I wanted somebody who's not going to come in as a lame duck. In other words, a second-term president, somebody who has a tried and true record of conservative values, somebody who's accomplished great things in Florida, somebody who grew his popularity by almost 20 points in one term, somebody who reduced the deficit, grew the economy, did a whole bunch of things for his state that I think he could do for the country. He's a member of the Freedom Caucus when he's up in Congress. Staunch conservative values. It's a long ways before the election, but you know, President Trump has a great advantage. He's a great marketer, and if he wins, I'll support him wholeheartedly. But yeah, I endorsed Ron DeSantis early.
Well, we believe DeSantis is going to get eliminated before they get to South Carolina. Right now, he's going to finish third in Iowa, probably third in New Hampshire, get wiped out in South Carolina. So we're going to look forward to you. Look forward, Dr. McCormick, to getting you on Team Trump as soon as that plays itself out. Look, you guys got a lot to do. This border is frightening people. It's a disaster. And then you got the whole Colorado debacle that went on. People are really upset. People want to follow you, sir, on social media. Where do they go?
RichMcCormick.us or Rich McCormick@house.gov.
Dr. McCormick, thanks for being with us, and we look forward to getting you. We wish you and your family a Merry Christmas, and your wife, tell her I said hi.